Welcome to Just Men, a life changing program that resonates hope as well as encouragement. The program that gives you information and inspiration for the glory of God. I'm your host, Jeff Tate, and thank you for joining Just Men. On today's program, we have a very special guest. It's his first time being on Just Men. Please welcome Brother Renard Hirsch. Brother Hirsch, welcome to Just Men.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm excited about you, brother. You've been on the program, and let me say on the onset, you add value to Just Man, man.
Oh,
We're just
thank you.
grateful, man, just for your presence.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. I appreciate you all having me, man. This is a great chance to do this, man. I've been watching the shows, man, and I always thought to myself, when will I get a chance to be just a man? So today's the day.
Days, your days, brother. Right? So let's begin to, peel the pages of your life back and share just a quick bio on who is Renard Hirsch.
Okay. All right. Well, basically, I grew up in Nashville, so started here and went through the school system here, graduated Hunters Lane, and went to Tennessee State University, where I was started off as a business major, and that did not work for me. So luckily, I took a theater class, and a lady named Mrs. Kimberly Lamarck, she came. I took her class. Didn't even do the best in it, but she saw me in the office one day, and I was trying to figure out what to do with my life and what to do with my major. And she said, well, we're doing this play this summer. We may have some positions open for you, so why don't you come on out? So I'm like, at the time, I'm like, all right, I'm not doing anything else with my life now, so let me try it out. So did it. And I had a really small part. The part was so small, I didn't even have any lines. I just came in at the end, picked the couch up, and took it out and raised in the sun. So I did as much as I could with that role, and then just fell in love with it, and just fell in love with the world of theater, and just started, just went all into it. I finally had, I think God brought that to me at that time in my life because He knew I needed something to focus on and something that I could really dive into, and just move forward. Something that I really felt really strongly about and really enjoyed doing. So did that. Then started doing that. Then went to had the opportunity to move to Chicago. So I started doing stand-up comedy my senior year in college. So once I started doing theater, I was like, my friends were like, man, you should do comedy, man. You should. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And so they finally kind of convinced me to do it. So I tried it, and then before I know it, it started snowballing. I started booking shows, and then went to Chicago, did it there for about 3 years, and then moved to L.A. I was in L.A. for about 2 years, then moved back to Nashville maybe about 8 or 9 years ago. Yeah. So it's just been a blessing, man. So so been able to travel the world and travel the U.S. and just do shows and to work with lots of great comedians and then overall just to be able to give the gift of laughter to so many people. That's what makes it really special. When people come up to you after the show and they're like, man, I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life, man. I haven't laughed in 5 months. This is the first time. I've smiled. So when you hear stories like that, you're like, oh man, this is really. It's bigger than just what we think of the show. It's bigger. It's just feeding into people's souls and feeding into people's minds. So.
Wow, that's beautiful. Where do you get your material from?
My material comes from just everything I've experienced in life. As a comic, you got to pull on. You got to try to figure out something that people can relate to, but also something that's unique. To tell the joke in a unique way. So yeah, it comes from just a lot. I used to work as a high school theater teacher. Was at Stratford and Whites Creek for a couple years, and so of course, come from education. You got jokes about education. Just any experience. You go to church, you see something funny happen. Just you stand at the DMV, you might see something that's funny. So you just take those. I try to write those little nuggets down, and then when when I have later time to kind of brainstorm on them, and then they, you see if you can turn it into a real joke you can use, So,
Yeah. Talk about impact. Many times when we are as a oratory or in theater or anything of that nature, we want to have an impact on people, right? Talk to me about where you feel that you have your greatest impact on people, and what level of comedy comes forward that's part of such an innate part of you that's so natural, and yet it's still having an impact, and you seeing how it can change lives or awaken lives or bring them out, as you talked about, despair, because that seems to be an area that people go to escape is
Yeah.
through laughter.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that impact and your life and then how you see it coming forward through your work.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of people yeah, just like that. People go to comedy shows for a release or an escape. Just from they don't want to deal with. You've been dealing with bills all day. You've been dealing with your crazy boss. You've been dealing with your girlfriend or your guy, whatever is going on. So you want that release. So you try to do that as an impact. I had a cousin prophesy to me and told me, say, you're to be the light in this comedy world. So I was like, oh, okay. So so like that, I didn't think about it like that. So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna try to just do, be the best comedian I can be, and even doing business. I also work as a booker. I book shows. I produce shows. So just try to be up and up. Just try to be somebody that does good business. Somebody that's not cheating. Somebody doesn't try to book you for a show and then you show up and they don't pay you. So because there's a lot of that goes on in the industry. So before I learn about contracts, I try to contract it out now. But yeah, so like just to be that light, just to impact and just try to get that to permeate throughout the comedy world.
Yeah.
Just to have a positive impact. Because I know a lot of people hear a lot of negative stuff about comedians and stuff like that, but to be able to, for other people to say, hey, you know what, yeah, you work with Renard, it's gonna be good business. It's not, he's not trying to cheat anybody. He's just, he wants to put on a good show and make people laugh and just, make everybody happy and make everybody have a good time.
So you can't have character and integrity
Yeah.
even in your field
Oh yeah.
of comedy.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot easier,
Oh, does
because sometimes your reputation precedes you, and so if you have a good reputation, that comes first. And now if you have a bad reputation, that'll come first too. So if you have a reputation for doing bad business and all that, then people will say, hey, go do that show with him, but get your money up front. Don't let him leave.
Yeah.
She'll be walking home with no money. So
Yeah, yeah. And I want to dive a little deep with you in terms of, because I know probably this is the only chance that people see you not on the lines of Mr. Funny Man, but see some serious part about you.
Yeah.
How do they take you serious? I mean, do people take you serious? I mean, when you leave the stage or because they see this persona, a comedy and everything. And now I'm coming to you straight and you're talking business, you're talking their side of it. And I know there's another side, you flip the script and flip the switch or whatever. But do they take you serious? I mean, how do you balance that?
Yeah, they do. I think most people, if you show people respect, they show it back. And it's like, I was doing drama before I got into comedy. So that was most people don't know that, but it's like I'm like it's not too much of a crazy transition from all the characters. Most of the characters I played were, they're dramatic characters. They may have some funny lines here or there, but yeah. So it's it's like it's just like anything else. You treat people with love and respect, and 9 times out of 10 it comes back to you.
Yeah.
And they deal with you. I think I'm able to switch gears. I can go from being funny man on stage to being, hey, let's do business off stage. Because it's a time and place for everything. So we can laugh and joke backstage, and we can have fun on stage, and but when it's time to be serious, let's be serious, and when it's time to have fun, we can go back to having fun.
Yeah. What are some of the most trying characters that you had to play or emulate even on the stage? I mean, what are some of those challenging?
Let's see, from theater?
Yeah, from theater.
Of course I did. I played in Piano Lesson. I did the role of Doker, I did that. This was towards the end of my college career, and got the role like 2 weeks before the play went up. It was like maybe a week and a half, and this guy, he has like a 5-6 page monologue like right in the middle of the play, and so that was really trying. I had another role where I was reading through the script, and it said my character gets up and sings and dances. And so I tell the director, I'm like, yeah, we're going to cut that out, right? He's like, no, you going to sing and you going to come up with a dance. And so that was one of those moments where I was able to, kind of persevere. I didn't, I wasn't sure, I wasn't a dancer, I wasn't a singer. But, they had faith in me, and, that was one of those moments where I was like, man, my dad would always tell me growing up that, hey, anything you put your mind to, you can do it. He would always say, you can't because you say you can't. Anything else you can do. If you put your mind to it, you can do. So that was one of those instances where I was like, man, yeah, he was right. I put my mind to it, and it worked out, and everybody said they liked they liked the song and dance, so it worked good. So
Wow, wow.
yeah.
Back in my day, you know, it was Richard Pryor and Red Fox, you know, some pretty vulgar type of comedian. How would you classify your comedy in terms of just your signature on it?
I mean, I just try to come from an honest place. You know, like I said, it's a lot of observational humor. Um, you know, I'm a club comic. You know, so when I say club comic, it means that you can pretty much adapt yourself to almost any audience. So whether you be at the smallest hole in the wall, or you know, or the biggest church in town, you know, you can still find a way to connect with your audience. You know, so yeah, so that's basically, yeah, that's kind of what I do. I like to, you know, I like for people to just get that escape. You know, people to just come out and just relax and have a good time, and you know, so you know, wherever you go has different rules and different stuff. You know, sometimes you may perform in a church and they're a little apprehensive. They're like, oh, I don't know, you know, but you know, I just come and just, you know, just keep it clean, and so I think usually they enjoyed it. Hey, you know, a lot of people just amazed. They're like, man, you were funny and clean. I didn't know that could happen.
Yeah,
You know,
happen,
so because you know, we just used to seeing, you know, everything, but you know, I've done pretty much all of them. You know, I've done from holding walls to churches. So, you know, I try to be as versatile as possible, and just try to reach as many people as possible from the
Wow.
stage or wherever. So,
You know, a lot of times, and I wanted you to kind of share something with me that you would present that you felt funny in terms of just an atmosphere, say, of a church or whatever. But also, I found that a lot of comedians, when they look back and unravel their life, they're dealing with some serious issues, some pain, and some demons, and all kind of things. You know, are there anything going on with you that you think is just a stronghold that you sometimes you see it express itself when you're on the stage and it's your escape? What do you use to escape? I know others use comedy to help others to escape, but what do you use to escape?
of course, yeah, use the comedy. Entertainment is just a great way to escape, because you can just throw yourself into whatever you're doing. You can throw yourself into a role. You know, even sometimes I'll be headed to a show and I'll be having a bad day and I'm feeling bad or whatever, and some kind of way, they ends up sometimes being the best shows. You know, so like it's a lot of time when I don't feel like doing comedy, I don't know. Sometimes it brings out something that, you know, something else. You know, because I guess they say, you know, comedy comes from pain and all these things. You know, which it does, and so you know, you just have to figure out a way to channel through that. You know, and then sometimes when you're doing acting, you know, you put that into the character, you put that into the role. You know, whatever your frustration is that's going on in your life, whatever despair you got going on, whatever hurt, what pain you got, you put all that into that role, and then it just comes out, you know, the way it's supposed to, you know, and then that energy connects and it just comes out the right way, you know.
Man, how do you deal with security? A lot of times, and I say security from a mental standpoint, but sometimes as those who are in the limelight or those who are comedians, they have a lot of insecurities about themselves, especially how the audience is going to perceive them or receive them. You know, if you get Sandman or someone tap dance on you, brother. So you know, how do you deal with that, and how do you persevere when it's just not hitting, right?
I think, well, one thing that helps is that, when I first started, I've been booed before. So first starting out, it's like, you know, it's really tough to deal with. You wake up the next day, you don't want to get out of bed. You're like, you think the whole world knows, you know. But I think so once you experience that, you're like, okay, this is pretty much the worst thing that can possibly happen on stage, you know. So to get booed, that's like the worst thing. So once you've been through that storm, you're like, okay, all right, I've been through the worst. Now it can only get better from here. So so that's one of the things that you do to you know, to kind of keep that to keep you want to be secure. You know, you want to do, if you can, you know, try to keep as many positive people around you. That makes a big difference in your, you know, I think we know what you do with your mental health. You know, I've had times in my life where I've been around a lot of negative people, and it impacted me negatively. You know, so you know, I do try to guard my space and try to keep as many positive people and positive images and stuff around you. You know, so I think that's one good way to to do that. Also, you have to figure out things that you like. Like I'm a big jazz fan, so I like to, go to New Orleans and listen to the jazz and eat the food. I think you have to do like little small things for yourself, just to, so your brain can kind of relax. I know Dick Gregory was saying that, your brain is just like, your body. Sometimes you have to, just take a week off and just relax. Just let your brain relax and rest, and then that way you can come in next week, fresh to looking at your jokes or the comedy or to that scene or to that play or whatever you're working on. So.
What are some of your most funniest subjects, man? I want to talk about that.
Yeah,
bring some humor to that. I know everybody's waiting, man. They're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me something, brother.
Oh man, funniest subjects, man. I do. Let's see. I do. Let's see. Of course, I like to do a little church. You got lots of great people that you watch on TV. I do. You all seen Joe Osteen? He comes out there. Do you receive it today? I know you do, brother. Don't let the devil steal your joy. So I just do, just different stuff. I talk about school, talk about just living in LA, living in Chicago, just different stuff that I've been through, so I just kind of just play around with different stuff. So,
man, that's good. Talk to me give me something on relationships. Mm-hmm. Give me something on relationships.
Oh, man. Let's see, relationships. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see. It's lots of different stuff going with relationships. Let's see what I'm trying to think. Something good and appropriate. What's this? This gonna be on cable? It's gonna be. Is this gonna be on Showtime?
We're not gonna go Showtime yet, brother. We're gonna keep it low time.
Yeah. Okay.
And but yeah, give me something more. I mean, because obviously relationships are impacting everything. Even those who are going to church, things you see in church. That's relationship wise and how people adapt to the environment in the church. So give me something from that perspective.
Because I guess dealing with relationships, like I'm a single guy, so so I'm out here on the dating scene. Hey, ladies. I'll talk about different jokes. Like I was on a date one time, and a girl went to the bathroom and took her eyebrows off, and so she came back and sat down in front of me. And so I sat there for the next 45 minutes trying to figure out what was different. I couldn't quite figure it out. I was like, did your forehead just get bigger? What is going? So, it turned out she took her eyebrows off. So I was like, you just getting real comfortable on this date. So, so it's like, I just mean to get navigating the dating scene and just dealing with, different relationships and different, people that you've dated or, gone out or been with.
Yeah.
It's just a journey. It's a journey. You never know what's gonna happen.
And that's comedy itself.
Yeah. You're like, oh, these jokes are writing itself.
Right, exactly.
Let me just write this down.
So you engage in things sometimes so you can find out to create
an
atmosphere of joke. Talk to me about that process.
Oh yeah. Like if you see something going on weird, you're like, let me get a closer look at this. Let me see what's really going on. Like if you see somebody, they just wearing a duck costume or something in the middle of work. You're like, hey, I got some questions for you, Duck man. Let me what's going on, man?
Right.
So sometimes it's like, this is too good to pass up. Let me let me engage this person to see what's going on. So so you never know when inspiration is gonna strike. So
wow. So who do you I talk about apprenticeship, someone that you were sort of conditioned, or at least you've seen modeled to help develop your gift, your talent. You talk about surrounding yourself with positive people. Talk to me about who's been more of a role model to you or a mentor and kind of brought you into sort of an apprenticeship relationship to bring you into your gift.
Man, I've had a lot of comedians take me in. Of course, like I said, Miss Kimberly Lamarck, who was at TSU, worked with Barry Scott. And of course, that was really major for me, because we were doing plays, and it was a whole new world to me, because I had done maybe a few plays growing up, but nothing serious like this. It was the first time I'm like doing the plays and doing entertainment, and I'm like, oh, this is a possibility. I can do this for real, like as a profession. And so they had he had a professional theater company in residency at TSU, so he treated us like we were professionals. It wasn't,
Oh.
you know, so it was like, yeah, you were expected to show up. We were there working late into the night, like 1 o'clock. We still got class the next day. So they treated it like it was a job. And so coming out of it, it was like, you know, all the people that worked within that program, we were ready. When we came out, we were like, hey, you know, they didn't spare your feelings. They were like, they were, if they thought it and they, you know, you were doing something wrong on stage, they would say it. And so, you know, I was able to develop tough skin. So that really helped me out, especially in the comedy world. Because, you know, you meet, in entertainment in general, you meet a lot of no's. So to deal with that, you got to have tough skin. And then I have lots of comedians. T. Ray Sanders, he's the first comedian ever take me on the road and just show me how to do the run in another city. One of my good friends still does comedy today, Griff. He's one of my good friends that mentored me. Pierre from, y'all might have seen him in BAPS and How to Be a Player. One of my good friends of mine, and Shane, you know, they just kind of basically just took me on. They were like, hey, man, you good, man. Keep going, man. Here, why don't you do this? You know, and they would just give me tips, stuff like that. You know, I've just been blessed to have, you know, a lot of people that just kind of take me under their wing and just kind of work along with me, you know, and just try to show me, you know, different things I need to do and just encourage me along the way. So I think, you know, as brothers and as, you know, because being a comedian is a fraternity. So, you know, I know I look at it like that, and a lot of other people do. So, yeah, so it's like, you know, anytime we can look out, you know, a lot of comics have looked out for me. You know, when I go on the road or go to other places, you know, they come out and they're like, you know, they tell you where to go and they say, hey, don't go over there, man, it's not safe. You know, or go over here, they go treat you, they go show you love over here. So, yeah, so yes, I've had a lot, I've been blessed, you know, to have a lot of good people around me and to try to, you know, guide me, you know, in the right direction.
Yeah. So where do your faith comes in all of this, in this walk?
You can't do it. You can't do it at all without your faith in God, man. Because if you don't have that, you'll be broken real quick. You know, because it's a lot of, you know, you go through a lot of situations, you know, that can be tough. You know, like sometimes you may drive and do a show and you're rushing to get there. Now you get a ticket on the way over there. Now you're like, oh man, that ticket is $400. This is more than what I'm gonna make on this show. So, so now you're like, oh, you know. So, but then you still gotta go do the show. You know. So yeah. So if you don't have your faith to bring you through the tough times, you know, because you'll have some low times. You know, like I said, you've been booed before. You know, you're like, man, this is, you know, it's tough to get through if you don't have something else to fall back on. You know, so you gotta, you know, because you gotta have you have God, you got your family, you know, to hopefully fall back on, you know. But yeah, if you don't have the faith, it's gonna be a really tough journey, you know, because sometimes, you know, sometimes stuff it'll be stuff that you can't understand, you know, because like sometimes they're comedians, you're like, oh man, this guy, he's not that good, but they just put him in a movie, you know. Or you have another comedian like, man, this guy's the funniest guy I've ever seen, but why they not discovered him yet? So, you know, it's just all in due time. So, you know, you just have to just put your all into it and you know, just have faith that it'll all work out in the end.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I know I run across people, and many times they talk about an enemy as though this force is fighting against them and pulling them back every step they take forward and pulling them back twice. And who would you define, or how would you define an enemy?
Man. An enemy, yeah, just somebody who, you know, I mean, it could be a person, or it could be a stronghold. It could be just something, you know, it could be alcoholism. It could be, you know, anything that you struggle with. It could be abandonment. You know, it could be, you know, like as humans, there's so many different things that we can keep pulling, you know, like you said, those insecurities, you know, and, you know, you can have some things that you're struggling with that you have to overcome. And so, yeah, so I think you just have to, kind of keep going forward, so you can defeat those enemies. You know, like you meet a lot of negative people. You know, you meet people that don't believe in what you're doing, or they kind of belittle what you're doing, or you know, so you just try to keep those people at a distance, and you know, and just try to keep going. You know, and keep yourself busy. You know, I know there's a lot of times people when they're not busy. That's when a lot of that creeps in. You know, those idle hands. When you're not doing anything, then you have, man, I can't stand him, you know, or her, what, you know. So it's like, so I think that's a big key thing too. If you can stay busy, doing positive things, you know, I think that limits a lot of those. It limits the power that those enemies have on you, because you're so focused on the positive and your focus. I mean, focus on your dream or whatever you're doing, that you know, the demons and the devils can't keep up with you. You know, because you're praying and you already focused. You know, so it's like you got your blinders on. You're like, I don't see it. You know.
Wow, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome because, I mean, not only being a comedian, man, but you're very insightful, man, to be able to recognize what an enemy can be. It's not necessarily in a person. It can be a spirit. It can be an addiction. You know, those things that pull you out of alignment of your identity. With me, it's always been identity is destiny. When you understand who you really are, it's amazing how you can break the walls of any insecurity, any boundaries, you know, anything that would hold you back and say, hey, not you. No, it cannot hold you when you come into your identity. And so, man, you're I'm telling you, brother, you're a powerful brother, man, beyond being, as they call comedy, man. And I just thank God for you for being on the program. But I know that there's so much depth in you. We got to have you back on, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'd love to come back, man.
We got we're going to dive in more in some relationships. And maybe,
okay.
Maybe we can up our rating a little bit in terms of, instead of being PG, we might put a slash.
We'll get into some details.
Yeah, we'll get some details. But I tell you, brother, something to keep resonating in my heart. And I think that what you've learned through relationships, it has catapulted you into a realm to be a light. If someone had prophesied of you and said you will be a light, the word says we're a light of the world, we're salt of the earth, we're preservative. And many times we don't know the impact that we have on an environment because sometimes it's not revealed to us. But share with us in the last minute, man, a word of encouragement after you've been through this process and how you've been an apprentice of others and how they poured into you and they've given you some wisdom. And not only just not go over there and not go over here, but also they gave you something else, man, to keep your eyes on the prize, to persevere, to endure. They gave you something that you didn't set it down. You didn't set down the vision that God placed in you, man, in your mother's womb. You didn't set it down. So share something, man, in the last minute to encourage and empower someone else, man, in terms of just life and comedian and so forth.
I think the main thing, like, is just if you have a vision and you have some focus, you know, do your best to focus on that, you know. And I think a lot of times, a lot of that will fall in place. And just, you know, you got to persevere, and you can't give up, and don't lose hope. And I think that's one thing that we deal with. A lot of people, you know, can lose hope. You know, we see a lot of things going on in society, you know, with the judicial system and, you know, with politics. You're like, you know, it's tough because you can fall into that and you can lose hope. But I think the main thing, you just have to keep hope and have faith and confidence in yourself that you can do what you believe you can do, you know, and what others, you know, other people will look at you and see things and say, you know what, I think I can live up to that.